Well, it's been a few weeks since my last spring walkabout, and lots of things are budding out and changing. So I'm going to go on a little quick tour. This Vinca major and ivy that is an anchor ground cover is beautiful. Our grass is nice and green and lush. We have it treated during the winter, fertilized and aerated and seeded at the appropriate times of the year. And it really helps to keep it in good shape with lots of nutrients. My aucuba is budding out. And I have some amaryllis bulbs coming up. They come up every year. Some salvia and caladium in the one pot, and ivy, some pansies, and some stone crop in the other. Irises are looking healthy, but they're not doing much yet. Sunshine ligustrum is looking pretty good. But the dogwood tree is the star of the show right now. Beautiful, beautiful. Blooms and blossoms. The dogwood tree is the state tree of Virginia, where I live, and the dogwood blossom is the state flower. They come in pinks and mauves and whites, and we planted this one many, many years ago. Let's make our way back to the side garden, where lots of changes are taking place. The azaleas are beginning to bloom here in the corner. Again, I apologize for the cars, but I live on a main thoroughfare. It's a beautiful purple fuchsia azalea blooming. The Nandina looks great. My wild violets are going crazy. Some blue juniper there. I will eventually pull out some of this wild viola, but I always love to see where it's self-seeded and coming up. There's a little bumblebee enjoying some of the blooms. Some sedum there and monkey grass filling in and looking really pretty. Another aucuba budding out. My bluebells and Lenten rose or hellebore looking good. Lamb's ear coming up nicely. Lots of growth on the hydrangeas and the rose bush. Have some peony and some stone crop coming up back here. My little bulbs in this container are beginning to sprout out. There is a white and chartreuse hellebore. Some more of that wild violet. This is going to be some black-eyed Susan coming up here. Some more peony back there. Lemon lime abelia in the back. darker red azalea beginning to bloom there, and the Asta is coming up. That's always really, really healthy. It's a little white azalea about to bloom. My hybrid hydrangea, the saucer hydrangea, looking good. The little yew bush that I saved is looking great. These topiaries that I transplanted are alive and doing well. It's a little spruce one, a little Nandina one, and up here, a couple of little ones. Look at the pollen on this table. It has been absolutely unbelievable. This is going to be some daylily. Ground cover's looking good. And heading into the backyard. The forsythia is about finished. It was beautiful, but it's about finished, as is the big camellia that was there. I'm excited to see what these rose bushes do this year because I trimmed them back brutally. But I do see some buds, so I don't think it's going to be a total loss. This one's pink. Don't see many buds on that one yet. Boxwood hedge looks great. And coming towards the patio, those two little arborvitae that I put in are rounding out. Doing fine. My moss garden and the ivy and vinca that is growing up on that frame is looking good. St. Francis back there belonged to my nanny. That ivy's doing great. Live basket's doing well. I transplanted this hydrangea bush, a small hydrangea bush. I think it's doing okay. Big pot of peony coming up here. And some Rose of Sharon blooming along this trellis. I have some Asian lilies coming up in this pot. Some yarrow and some creeping Jenny here. This comes back every year along with some of the sedum. You can see some buds coming out on that yarrow. Some of my topiary. Another potted hellebore. And in the potager, I have all kinds of things going on. Some wild violets, some tulips that are still hanging in there, some aucuba. Just put in this lavender. Smells wonderful. Some bluebells and these pansies. I just deadheaded them, but they've seen better days. Some caladium to sprout out. And Some more Asian lily back here. The herbs are looking great. Put in some basil and it's doing well. Rosemary bush looks good. This pot of hosta seems to grow by the minute. Clover, the shamrocks coming up in this pot. Some more of those irises that were my great-grandmother's and then my grandmother's, and then this clematis vine beginning to put out buds. Some coral bells looking great. My wisteria is growing by the minute. Can even see a little bud right there of some wisteria about to come out. It's going to be so pretty when it's filled in. My candy tuft basket is looking good. These pansies looking very nice. My lemon cypress looks healthy. Some pansies, some aucuba, some bluebells. When that fills out, it's going to look great. These amaryllis bulbs won't bloom until later spring. This little topiary is looking nice and healthy. My Boston ferns that overwintered in the garage are still looking rough, but they're alive and they'll do well. Just take time. Little heart topiary's looking good. So all in all, everything's looking very nice. It's a little cool here, about 10 degrees warmer than normal for zone 8A in Virginia. But everything's hanging in there. See you next time.